It's October, and if you're a music producer, audio engineer, or any type of musician who makes music with a computer, there's nothing scarier than losing your files. Except maybe losing a client's work and having to explain to an artist or the entire band why you lost their art and having to deal with a missed deadline, possibly a missed payment, and even a missed rent payment. So yeah, it can get pretty scary pretty quick, especially considering that up to 96% of workstations are not being backed up properly. So this October, we're covering a boring but important topic with scary consequences. In this video, you're gonna learn a few ways to manage, organize, and back up your files. I'll show you how I organize my projects as well as projects I receive from other producers or independent artists. So if I could only leave you with one piece of advice, it would be to back up your stuff and do it often so you don't risk losing too much of your hard work. But in order to back up your data, you'll need somewhere to put it. So let's discuss 3 options for storage. Now, the first type of storage is internal storage. This is your computer's built-in internal hard drive. Usually this is filled with applications or other personal files, or ideally your computer is completely dedicated to music. But in general, it's a great practice to dedicate the limited internal storage of your computer to software applications, audio plugins, virtual instruments, and sound libraries. All the big pieces of musical infrastructure that you're going to reach for on a regular basis. Now, I know that some of these, especially the libraries, can get pretty large, but you can always save some of the bigger library stuff on our next form of storage. And that is going to be external storage, be it a hard disk drive or a solid state drive, anything physical that you can store separate from your computer. Now, you can't really have enough of these, and they have really expanded in size over the years, and the cost has come down as well. Usually, if you shop around for a bigger size, you get a discount, but I really wouldn't recommend cheaping out on these. Having a good 1 or 2 terabyte drive is likely to be more reliable than an enormous drive from a sketchy manufacturer that just looks too good to be true. You'll also see these hard drives go on sale multiple times throughout the year, so keep an eye out for those deals. Lassie, Seagate, Samsung, SanDisk are names that I've had some good experiences with, and I've included some links to a few of my favorite in the description of this video if you're in the market for a new drive and you'd like to support the channel. So external hard drives are great for storing your sessions, projects, all your audio files. I'm almost always working off of an external drive. I also use this for video, stuff like Final Cut Pro as well. And as I previously mentioned, this would be a great place to store any sound libraries that you're regularly going to use in your workflow. I would also recommend having a separate backup drive for deep storage, where you can store all of your old projects when you're finished with them to preserve disk space on your main drive. And the third type of storage that we'll talk about is cloud storage. This can be free or a paid subscription to public online storage like Google Drive or Dropbox. I find that cloud storage is great for storing files that you want to be able to share with clients or collaborators. You can also use it as a place to store your EPK or all your finished songs that you regularly pitch to playlists, radio, or sync opportunities. Now, cloud storage can be a way of archiving deep storage in addition to an external drive, but it does run the risk of a possible data breach, so proceed with caution. And again, definitely don't rely only on public cloud storage for anything that's super important. So when it comes to backing up data, remember the rule of 3. Your data does not really exist if it's not backed up in 3 separate places. Have a backup external drive, cloud storage, and when possible, an external drive as an offsite copy. And again, try and do this regularly so that you don't risk losing too much of your hard work. I know, it adds up, but if you want to be extra secure, that is the best protocol. This video is brought to you by DistroKid. If you're an artist looking to release original music onto Spotify or Apple Music, DistroKid makes it fast and easy with unlimited uploads, and artists keep 100% of their royalties and earnings. With the holidays coming up, it's a great time to release a cover song, be it spooky themed, Christmas themed, or just because. With DistroKid, you can upload your cover for as little as $1 per year per song, and they'll handle all of the publishing rights for you. Plus, DistroKid's royalty splits make sure that everyone gets paid their fair share so that you can focus on doing what you love, making music. You can get started today with the link in the description and get a discount off your first year subscription. And if you're a student or a teacher, you can look out for the educational link for an even larger discount. Okay, so now that we've gone over how to archive your files, let's talk about managing in-process files with folders and subfolders. So for all of my deep storage stuff, I like using folders that go by year, but for my in-progress stuff, I will usually track personal and video projects by month. Now, I'll also keep a subfolder for each artist or organization that I'm currently working with, and this helps from anything getting lost or confused within the drive. Now, for each artist folder, I'll have another folder for each album and song that we're working on, and each of those song folders has 3 main folders per song or project. The first is received files, so that's anything that I get coming in, audio files, lyrics, charts, demos, whatever, I can find it here. Next is mixes, and this is going to be all of the outgoing stuff. All of the revisions, stems, printouts, whatever I'm sending back to the client or shipping. And finally, the session folder, which is going to contain my folders for the DAW session as it's in progress. This will have a save as for each stage of the process and the mixing revisions so that we can always go back to previous versions of the mix. And for my YouTube stuff, it's more or less the same, but with a few more subfolders because I'm working with audio and video. Now, I don't have a ton to say on the naming convention of files because I think it's pretty personal between you and your collaborators, but typically you want to keep it short and include the song name somehow so that you know which project it's a part of. Usually I'll use the song's initials. I also like to know the BPM of each song. This can be the name of one of your folders. And if it hasn't already been communicated, it would be nice to know the sample rate and the bit depth somewhere in the project. So you could have a file naming convention that looks something like this. So typically I'll start by having a folder for each artist or artistic project. And from there, I'll divide it up into a folder for each year. And inside that folder, I'll have a folder for each album project. And I find this is a good place to put the sample rate. I'm assuming that you're using 24-bit recording, but you can put here 44, 48, or 96, depending on what you're using. From there, the next folder is going to have each of the song's name, and I find that this is a good place to put the BPM as well. And from there, we have a folder with all of the audio files, which are named using the song's initials, and then an abbreviation of each instrument. Let me know if you have any other organizing or naming conventions that you like to use. And of course, once your projects are finished, they can be archived using the backup methods that we talked about in the previous section. You know, in this way, you can always go back and you can look over old projects, which is a lot of fun to do. You know, one reason is that it's going to help you to see how far you've gone, how much you've grown since then, you know, be it your recording or your producing or your mixing. You know, you have that as a showcase, as a testament to your skill and your development over time. And I think that's something that's really cool that you only get by saving all those projects. And I mean, I have projects on my drive that I haven't released and I probably never will, but they're there and I can always go and listen to them. And that's pretty cool. So let me know down in the comments if you've ever lost a project. I know I have, and it did not feel good. So I want to know if you have any strategies or methods for backing up your files or, you know, just making sure you don't lose anything that I didn't cover in this video, because I want it to be as helpful as possible to as many people as possible. So if it did help you out, leave a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
I know it's been a way too